Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to Rishikul Online School. Let's continue chapter 2 of history, in which we are studying about new kings and kingdoms. Dear students, this is the third module of this chapter, and in this module we shall study about Chola dynasty, its temples, sculptures, and about its administration. So let's begin with a question. Who were Cholas? Dear students, they were not kings initially, rather than they were subordinate to Palwas, who held power in Urayur. Similarly, Muttarrayar held power in regions around Kaveri Delta. Dear students, Vijayala, a Chola chief, captured the Kaveri Delta from Muttarrayar. He built the town of Thanjavur. He also built a temple of goddess Nishumbasudini there. Dear students, Chola kingdom grew in size and power with the conquest of neighboring areas by the successors of Vijayala. The Pandyan and Palwa territories to the south and north became part of the Chola kingdom. Rajavan, he was considered the most powerful Chola ruler. He became king in 985 and expanded control over most of the areas mentioned above. He reorganized the administration of the empire. His son Rajendra I continued his policies and even raided the Ganga Valley, Sri Lanka, and countries of Southeast Asia, developing a navy for these expeditions. Next is splendid temples of Chola Empire. Dear students, Raja and Rajendra Chola built many beautiful temples in South India. There were various economic, social, and cultural activities associated with the Chola temples. The temples became the nuclei of settlements that grew around them. These were centers of craft production like bronze images. Temples received huge land endowments from rulers. The produce of these lands went into maintaining all the specialists who worked at and lived near the temple, such as priests, garland makers, cooks, sweepers, musicians, etc. Let's talk about agriculture and irrigation. Now the question arises, how did the Chola rulers improve agriculture? They cleared forest lands to bring more land under cultivation. Irrigation works were developed. For that, wells were dug, canals were built, tanks were constructed to collect rainwater. They built embankments to prevent flooding. Kaveri River provided water for irrigation and fertile soil. Let's talk about Chola administration. The Chola state was a centralized, bureaucratized monarchy, maintained large royal standing army, which was recruited and controlled by the Chola rulers directly. It was administered in following ways. Local level Brahman village assembly, which was called Sabha, and non-Brahmanical assembly, which was called Nadu, or local peasants assembly, which was called, or performed many administrative functions. Rich peasants of Velala caste exercised considerable control over affairs of Nadu under the supervision of central Chola government. Associations of traders, known as Nagaram, occasionally performed administrative functions in town. Sabha looked after Brahmadeva, which was the land gifted to Brahmans. Sabha had separate committees to look after irrigation work, temple and charity, etc. Members of Sabha got elected through a lucky draw. Candidates could contest election only if they had their own homes, aged between 35 to 70 years, were well versed in Vedas and administrative matters, honest, etc. So, my dear students, that was all about this chapter. Thank you.